If a man has sexual relations with a virgin, who he is not engaged to, then he must pay her father the full amount necessary to marry her. If the father refuses to allow his daughter to marry him, then the man must still pay the full amount for her. You must not allow any woman to do evil magic. If she does magic, you must not let her live. You must not allow anyone to have sexual relations with an animal. If this happens, that person must be killed. Whoever makes a sacrifice to a false god should be destroyed. The Lord is the only one you should make sacrifices to. Remember, in the past you were foreigners in the land of Egypt, so you should not cheat or hurt anyone who is a foreigner in your land. You must never do anything bad to women whose husbands are dead or to orphans. If you do anything wrong to these widows or orphans, I will know it. I will hear about their suffering, and I will be very angry. I will kill you with a sword. Then your wives will become widows, and your children will become orphans. If you loan money to any of my people, that is, the poor among you, don't be like a moneylender and charge them interest. You might take their cloak to make sure they pay the money back, but you must give that cloak back to them before sunset. That cloak might be their only protection against the cold when they lie down to sleep. If they call to me for help, I will listen because I am kind. You must not curse God or the leaders of your people. At harvest time, you should give me the first grain and the first juice from your fruit. Don't wait until late in the year. Give me your firstborn sons. Also, give me your firstborn cattle and sheep. Let the firstborn stay with its mother for 7 days. Then on the 8th day, give him to me. You are my special people, so don't eat the meat from something that was killed by wild animals. Let the dogs eat that dead animal. Don't tell lies against other people. If you are a witness in court, don't agree to help a bad person tell lies. Don't do something just because everyone else is doing it. If you see a group of people doing wrong, don't join them. You must not let them persuade you to do wrong things. You must do what is right and fair. In court, don't treat a person in a special way simply because that person is poor. If you see a lost bull or donkey, then you must return it to its owner, even if the owner is your enemy. If you see an animal that cannot walk because it has too much to carry, you must stop and help that animal. You must help that animal even if it belongs to one of your enemies. In court, don't let anyone take advantage of a person simply because that person is poor. Be very careful if you say that someone is guilty of something. Don't make false charges against a person. Never allow innocent people to be killed as punishment for something they did not do. Whoever kills an innocent person is evil, and I will not treat a guilty person as innocent. If someone tries to pay you to agree with them when they are wrong, don't accept that payment. A payment like that can blind judges so that they cannot see the truth. It can make good people tell lies. You must never do wrong things to a foreigner. Remember, you know what it is like to be a foreigner because at one time you were foreigners in the land of Egypt. Plant seeds, harvest your crops, and work the ground for 6 years. But the 7th year must be a special time of rest for the land. Don't plant anything in your fields. If any crops grow there, allow the poor to have it, and allow the wild animals to eat the food that is left. You should do the same with your vineyards and with your fields of olive trees. Work for 6 days, but on the 7th day, rest. This will allow your slaves and other workers a time to rest and relax, and your bulls and donkeys will also have a time of rest. Be sure that you obey all these laws. Don't worship false gods. You should not even speak their names. You will have 3 special festivals each year. You must come to my special place to worship me during these festivals. The first festival is the festival of unleavened bread. This is as I commanded you. During this time you will eat bread that is made without yeast. This will continue for 7 days. You will do this during the month of Aviv, because this is the time when you came out of Egypt. Everyone must bring a sacrifice to me at that time. The second festival will be the festival of harvest. This festival will be during the early summer when you begin harvesting the first crops that you planted in your fields. The third festival will be the Festival of Shelters. This will be in the fall, when you finish gathering the rest of the crops from your fields. So 3 times each year all the men will come to the special place to be with the Lord God. When you kill an animal and offer its blood as a sacrifice, you must not include anything that has yeast in it. And when you burn the fat from my sacrifices, don't let any of it remain until morning. When you gather your crops at harvest time, you should bring the first of everything you harvest to the house of the Lord your God. You must not eat the meat from a young goat that is boiled in its mother's milk. I am sending an angel before you to protect you along the way and to lead you to the place that I have prepared for you. Obey the angel and follow him. Be careful in his presence and don't rebel against him. The angel will not forgive the wrong things you do to him. He has my power in him. If you listen to what he says and do everything I tell you, then I will be an enemy to all of your enemies. I will be against everyone who is against you. My angel will lead you through the land. He will lead you against many different people, the Amorites, Hittites, Perizzites, Canaanites, Hivites, and Jebusites. But I will defeat all of them. Don't worship their gods. Don't ever bow down to those gods. You must never live the way those people live. You must destroy their idols, and you must break the stones that help them remember their gods. You must serve the Lord your God. If you do this, I will bless you with plenty of bread and water. I will take away all sickness from you. Your women will all be able to have babies. None of their babies will die at birth, and I will allow you to live long lives. When you fight against your enemies, I will send my great power before you. I will help you defeat all of your enemies. The people who are against you will become confused in battle and run away. I will send the hornet in front of you. He will force your enemies to leave. The Hivites, Canaanites, and the Hittites will leave your country. But I will not force all of them out of your land quickly. I will not do this in only 1 year. The land will be empty if I force the people out too fast. Then all the wild animals would increase and control the land, and they would be much trouble for you. So I will force them out of your land very slowly. I will do this as you grow and eventually take the land to be your own. I will give you all the land from the Red Sea to the Mediterranean Sea, and from the desert of Sinai to the Euphrates River. I will let you defeat the people living there and force them all to leave. You must not make any agreements with any of those people or their gods. Don't let them stay in your country. If you let them stay, they will be like a trap to you. They will cause you to sin against me, and you will begin worshiping their gods. The Lord told Moses, "You, Aaron, Nadab, Abihu, and the 70 elders of Israel must come up the mountain and worship me from a distance. Then only Moses will come close to the Lord. The other men must not come close, and the rest of the people must not even come up the mountain." Moses told the people all the rules and commands from the Lord. Then all the people said, "We will obey all the commands that the Lord has spoken." So Moses wrote down all the commands of the Lord. The next morning he got up and built an altar near the bottom of the mountain. And he set up 12 stones, one for each of the 12 tribes of Israel. Then Moses sent young men of Israel to offer sacrifices. These men offered bulls to the Lord as burnt offerings and fellowship offerings. Moses saved the blood from these animals. He put half of the blood in bowls, and he poured the other half of the blood on the altar. Moses read the scroll with the special agreement written on it. He read the agreement so that all the people could hear him. And the people said, "We have heard the laws that the Lord has given us, and we agree to obey them." Then Moses held the bowls full of blood from the sacrifices. He threw that blood on the people. He said, "This blood shows that the Lord has made a special agreement with you. The laws God gave you explain the agreement." Then Moses, Aaron, Nadab, Abihu, and the 70 elders of Israel went up the mountain. On the mountain, these men saw the God of Israel. He was standing on something that looked like blue sapphires, as clear as the sky. All the leaders of Israel saw God, but God did not destroy them. They all ate and drank together. The Lord said to Moses, "Come to me on the mountain. I have written my teachings and laws on 2 stone tablets. These teachings and laws are for the people. I will give these stone tablets to you." So Moses and his helper Joshua went up the mountain of God. Moses said to the elders, "Wait here for us until we come back to you. While I am gone, Aaron and Hur will rule over you. Go to them if anyone has a problem." Then Moses went up the mountain, and the cloud covered the mountain. The glory of the Lord came down on Mount Sinai. The cloud covered the mountain for 6 days. On the seventh day, the Lord spoke to Moses from the cloud. The Israelites could see the glory of the Lord. It was like a fire burning on top of the mountain. Then Moses went higher up the mountain into the cloud. He was on the mountain for 40 days and 40 nights.